Imagine a country where people balance live fish on their collarbones, buy live crabs from vending machines, and drink tea grown with panda poop. A place where old traditions, modern trends, strange food, and shocking stories all exist side by side. Today, we're traveling to China to explore some of the weirdest things you can find there, from unusual beauty trends and medical treatments to bizarre food and unbelievable government stories. Some of it is fascinating, some of it is disturbing, and all of it is very real. Get ready, because this journey is going to be strange. Fish in collarbone. In some parts of China, being very slim is seen as ideal, and that has led to one of the strangest beauty trends out there. It's called the fish in the collarbone challenge, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. People place live fish into the hollow of their collarbones to show how sharp and visible their clavicles are. The thinner you are, the more fish you can balance, which turns the whole thing into a weird competition. The trend really took off around 2018, following another unhealthy craze from 2015 where women tested how many coins they could stack on their collarbones. The fish version became even more popular. It spread so far that a water park in Chongqing actually hosted a collarbone fishing contest, offering free entry tickets as a prize. Unsurprisingly, this trend is pretty harmful. It pushes unrealistic body standards and messes with people's confidence. But honestly, it's even worse for the poor fish, forced to swim around in some random person's clavicle. Panda poop tea. Imagine pouring yourself a hot cup of tea made from leaves grown in soil fertilized with panda poop. As shocking as that sounds, panda poop tea is real. Even more surprising, it's one of the most expensive teas in the world. The tea is produced by a businessman named Anshi in Ya'an City, located in China's Sichuan province. He sells a tiny 1.7-ounce box for around 20,000 yuan, which is roughly $2,700. That breaks down to nearly $100 for a single cup of tea. So why would anyone pay that much for it? According to Anshi, the tea has powerful health benefits and can even help fight cancer. His reasoning is based on how pandas eat. Pandas survive almost entirely on bamboo, but they only digest about 30% of it. The rest passes through their bodies and becomes waste. Bamboo is high in fiber and nutrients, so Anshi claims those nutrients remain in the panda dung, enrich the soil, and are absorbed by the tea plants as they grow. At first glance, the idea sounds strange but oddly logical. After all, animal waste has been used as fertilizer for centuries, and it's true that green tea itself has been linked to certain health benefits. Some studies suggest it may slightly lower the risk of specific cancers. However, scientists are not convinced by the panda poop part of the story. In 2012, experts publicly dismissed the claims. They explained that bamboo leaves themselves are not proven to prevent cancer, and even if they were, any supposed benefits would not survive digestion and magically transfer from panda waste into tea leaves through the soil. In short, while panda dung can help plants grow and green tea can be healthy, there is no scientific evidence that panda poop turns tea into a miracle cure. Live crabs from a vending machine. Back in 2010, one of these machines showed up in a subway station in Nanjing. Instead of chips or soda, it sold live crabs for about $3 each. The idea was to serve people craving seafood late at night after traditional crab shops had already closed. For many of us, grabbing a live crab as a snack sounds completely absurd. But in China, the idea took off. Some machines were reportedly selling over 200 crabs every single day. The crabs are sold alive for a practical reason. Crab meat spoils very quickly, and the last thing anyone wants is a vending machine full of rotten seafood. To prevent this, the machines keep the crabs in a hibernation-like state by staying between 41 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This slows their movement and keeps them alive and fresh. Each crab is stored in its own small plastic box designed to feel like a cave. This keeps the crab calm and reduces stress. The boxes also hold the crab's claws in place so they can't pinch customers when they wake up. This avoids painful practices like tying their claws shut. The Face-kini? What is that supposed to be? Sorry, you just startled me. If you're as pale as I am, you already know how easily the summer sun can turn your skin bright red. In China, though, there's a clever and slightly unsettling way to deal with that problem. It's called a face-kini. A face-kini is a type of swimwear that fully covers the head and face, leaving only small openings for the eyes, nose, and mouth. Its main purpose is to block harmful UV rays. In Chinese culture, fair skin is often seen as more desirable, while tanning is viewed as unfashionable. That's a challenge when beach temperatures regularly climb above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Before face-kinis existed, many people brought umbrellas to the beach. While that helped, it made swimming awkward and uncomfortable. The face-kini offered a simple fix. It allows people to swim, float, and relax in the water while keeping their skin protected from sunburn and lowering the risk of skin damage. The Face-kini was first created in 2004 in the coastal city of Qingdao. It quickly spread across China and became common even in inland cities like Beijing. Beyond sun protection, it also helps prevent jellyfish stings and insect bites. Some beachgoers even match their Face-kini with full-body swimsuits. It may look strange to outsiders, but in China, it's a perfectly normal beach outfit. Footbinding. While face-kinis are a fairly new trend, some of China's most unsettling fashion customs come from a much darker past. The most infamous example is footbinding, a tradition that began more than 1,000 years ago and is still disturbing to learn about today. Footbinding was done to young girls, usually between the ages of 3 and 11. Their feet were tightly wrapped with cloth to stop them from growing normally. Over time, the bones in the toes would slowly break, the arch of the foot would bend upward, and the toes would be forced underneath the foot. The pain was constant and severe. This wasn't a one-time process. For many years, the feet were unwrapped, reshaped, and rebound again and again. Each time, the shoes became smaller. The perfect foot was believed to be just 3 inches long. Tiny shoes known as lotus shoes were often only 4 to 5 inches in length, and even those were sometimes seen as too big. Once binding was complete, women could only walk on their heels for the rest of their lives. Despite the suffering, foot binding was seen as beautiful and respectable. It was believed to teach discipline and obedience. A girl who endured the pain without complaint was thought to make a better wife. Small feet also greatly improved marriage prospects, which kept the tradition alive for centuries. Shockingly, around 40% of women bound their feet by choice, mostly due to family pressure and social expectations. The practice was officially banned in 1912, but it continued in secret in some areas until the late 1960s. Dingzui. Dingzui is a disturbing idea that has circulated in China for many years. The word loosely translates to substitute criminal, and it refers to a situation where a guilty person pays or pressures someone else to take their place in court and serve their punishment. It sounds unbelievable, but several real cases and long-running rumors have made many people wonder if this practice has happened behind closed doors. One of the most well-known cases linked to Dingzui involves Gu Kailai, a powerful lawyer and businesswoman. In 2012, she was charged with poisoning British businessman Neil Haywood. She received a suspended death sentence, which can later be reduced to life in prison. When photos from her private trial were leaked, people noticed something strange. The woman in court looked different from Gu's earlier public photos. Her face shape appeared changed, and she seemed to have gained weight. This sparked rumors that the person on trial might not have been Gu Kailai at all. According to the theory, a woman named Jiao Tian Yun acted as a body double, while the real Gu stayed free. Soon after, internet searches for words like body double were reportedly blocked, which only increased suspicion. Because Gu's family held significant political power, many believed she was protected to stop her from revealing corruption. There is no solid proof that a swap ever happened, but the secrecy of the trial continues to fuel doubt. Dingzui is not only linked to powerful people. There are also stories of professional substitutes. One man, Huang Hui from Taiwan, reportedly acted as a stand-in criminal for years. Because he suffered from leukemia, he could avoid long prison terms through medical parole. He allegedly took on more than 170 cases before being caught in 2007. Whether Dingzui is rare or more common than believed, these stories raise a troubling question about justice and whether punishment can sometimes be passed to someone else. China's Snake Village Nightmare. There is a small town in China that many people would rather never set foot in. It's widely known as Snake Village, a place where snakes are not avoided or killed, but raised in massive numbers. Its real name is Zikiao, and it contains around 100 snake farms with an estimated 3 million snakes. That works out to roughly 3,000 snakes for every single human living there, which alone is enough to make most visitors uneasy. The snakes are bred mainly for their meat, skin, and use in traditional Chinese medicine. Products like snake soup and snake wine are especially popular, as they are believed to strengthen the immune system and improve health. To meet demand, snakes are kept in jars, wooden boxes, wire cages, and concrete pits. In warmer seasons, many are left in open enclosures, and it's not uncommon for snakes to escape, adding to the village's unsettling reputation. Some of the species raised in Zikiao are extremely dangerous. One of the most feared is the Chinese moccasin, often called the 5-step snake. According to legend, anyone bitten can only walk 5 steps before dying. Moxibustion. Fortunately, not all of China's strange medical practices are frightening. Some are simply puzzling. One of the oddest is Moxibustion, a traditional treatment connected to acupuncture. It involves burning sticks made from an herb called mugwort close to the skin. While it may sound old-fashioned or even risky, it is believed to strengthen the blood and improve the flow of qi or energy through the body. In traditional Chinese medicine, healthy qi is thought to help with chronic pain, digestion issues, and overall fatigue. For anyone dealing with back pain from sitting too long or staring at screens all day, that idea sounds very appealing. One of the strangest versions of Moxibustion focuses on eye care. Patients wear unusual walnut glasses, made from hollowed walnut shells soaked in herbal liquids such as chrysanthemum and medlar. Strips of mugwort are attached to the shells and carefully lit. As the mugwort burns, heat slowly spreads through the walnut shells and warms the area around the eyes. After about 45 minutes, supporters claim the treatment improves blood circulation and reduces inflammation. It is said to help with dry eyes, poor eyesight, and even damage to the optic nerve. Moxibustion has been used since the Qing dynasty in the 17th century and was once applied to treat wounds and ulcers. So while it looks strange, it has centuries of history behind it. Apotherapy. If burning walnut glasses sounded strange, this treatment goes even further. Apotherapy is a form of traditional Chinese medicine that uses products from bees, such as honey, pollen, beeswax, and even bee venom, to treat illness. These natural substances are believed to reduce inflammation and help with problems like diabetes, joint pain, and even cancer. Apotherapy has been practiced in China for over 2,000 years. At first it sounds harmless. Then comes the shocking part. In some clinics, doctors use live bees to sting patients on purpose. At places like the Kang Tai Bee Clinic in Beijing, bees are placed directly on the skin. Depending on the illness, a person may receive anywhere from a few stings to over 100 in a single session. When a bee stings, the stinger stays in the skin and releases venom for several hours. Each sting delivers a small amount of venom, which contains chemicals like melittin. Scientists believe these chemicals have antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory effects. Other compounds in the venom may also help reduce pain. Some studies suggest bee sting therapy may help arthritis, chronic pain, Parkinson's disease, and certain cancers. While doctors say more research is needed, many patients believe it works. It sounds painful and risky, but for some people the results feel worth it. China's copycat cities. China is famous for knockoff products, and that mindset has been applied to entire towns. Across the country, developers have built full-scale cities inspired by Europe and the United States, some bizarrely realistic, others eerily empty. One striking example is Timstown, located in Shanghai's Songjiang district. Inspired by England, the town resembles a British seaside village with cobblestone streets, timber-framed houses, red telephone boxes, and even statues of Winston Churchill and Harry Potter. Completed in 2006, it was originally intended to house university staff and their families. Despite a $700 million investment, the town is now almost a ghost town. Many homes were bought by wealthy families as vacation properties and sit empty most of the year, while remaining houses are far too expensive for ordinary buyers. Shops often aren't real either, they're just props maintaining the British aesthetic. Today, Timstown is mainly visited by tourists, rich vacationers, and a handful of security guards in vaguely British-style uniforms. Nearby in Tianjin is Fake Manhattan, located in the Ujiapu financial district. Construction began in 2010 with the ambitious goal of creating a global financial hub modeled after New York, including replicas of Rockefeller Center, Lincoln Center, and a Juilliard-style music school. Costs soared past $30 billion, and construction stopped in 2014. Many skyscrapers remain empty, and while a few businesses and residents have moved in, the city feels hollow and unfinished. Not all copycat cities fail. Tianducheng, on the outskirts of Hangzhou, is inspired by Paris. Covering nearly 12 square miles, it features Parisian-style buildings, landscaped gardens, fountains, and a one-third scale Eiffel Tower that draws tourists and supports the local economy. Originally designed for 10,000 residents, it now houses nearly 30,000. Despite government criticism over European-style streets clashing with socialist values, the city remains largely unchanged. Similarly, Suzhou, a major city along the Yangtze River, is nicknamed the Venice of the East and features 56 replica bridges modeled after famous landmarks worldwide, including London's Tower Bridge, Sydney Harbour Bridge, and Paris's Pont Alexandre III. Sucking stones for dinner. Whenever you travel to another country, food is usually part of the adventure. But in parts of China, street markets can feel less like a tasting tour and more like a survival test. Take suodiu, a dish that is, quite literally, a stone stir-fry. This crunchy curiosity isn't a modern stunt or viral challenge. It goes back hundreds of years to boatmen traveling along the Yangtze River. When they became stranded in landlocked Hubei province with no meat or vegetables left, they improvised. To get minerals and avoid starving, they scooped up river stones and fried them, intensifying the lingering fishy flavors absorbed over time. Today, these pebbles are still sold at street stalls, tossed with chili, garlic, and spices, usually for the price of a cheap snack. And no, you're not expected to chew them. The clue is hidden in the name. Suodiu translates roughly to suck and discard. You suck the spicy, oily flavor from the stone, then throw it away. Relief all around, though history suggests a few teeth, windows, and good decisions may have been lost along the way. The Gothic chicken. Once you've survived a stone-based appetizer, it's time for the main course. In China, roast chicken might look nothing like what you expect. Meet the silky or black silky chicken. Covered in black feathers with dark skin and bluish-grey flesh, it can seem otherworldly, almost like something from a ritual rather than a dinner plate. Despite its unusual appearance, silkies have been eaten since at least the 7th or 8th century and are highly valued in traditional Chinese medicine. They are believed to help with insomnia, fatigue, lung problems, and even tuberculosis. The secret is carnosine, a naturally occurring protein that reduces inflammation and protects cells from damage. Studies show silkies have nearly twice as much carnosine as other chickens, earning them a reputation as a natural supplement and even a superfood. New mothers often eat silky chicken to regain energy, and renowned Professor Yu Yingxi reportedly used it as a remedy for chronic headaches. Virgin boy eggs. In the village of Dongyang, there is a traditional food that shocks almost everyone who hears about it. It is called virgin boy eggs. As strange as it sounds, these eggs are boiled in urine collected from young boys, usually under the age of 10. Fresh urine is gathered daily from schools using buckets placed in hallways, and some vendors even ask parents directly to let their sons contribute. To make the eggs, vendors soak them in the urine, boil them, crack the shells, and then leave them to stew in the liquid for an entire day. Sometimes herbs are added, though that doesn't make it much easier to accept. The egg whites turn yellow, and the yolks become dark green. Locals claim they taste salty and believe they boost energy, improve blood flow, and prevent heat stroke. There is no scientific proof of these benefits, but the eggs remain popular and cost only a few cents each. Still, for most people, this is one tradition that is very hard to swallow.